took temporary control of Haven Academy, and he began coordinating Mistral's defenses, passing the small village of Windpath and proceeds to his destination. Jaune made his way to Argus and attempted to get a flight for Atlas, until he was halted by the Atlas army. Atlassian soldier, halt, identify yourself. Jaune shows them his scroll with Ashbin's approval and credentials. I need to verify this with my superiors, stay here. He simply waited for confirmation. Then an alarm blared all over the base. And then there were sirens heard all over Argus as people ran for safety. He then stopped a passing soldier. Jaune, what is happening? The Leviathan is attacking. He then looks towards the ocean and saw something in the distance making its way towards them. Jaune, I sense no intelligence. It's acting on instinct. Or Salem. He then makes his way to the seaside. Hey, you're going the wrong way. We must evacuate. Jaune, you evacuate. I'm dealing with the problem. Another soldier passes by. AS2. Hey, come on, let's go. That guy must be a huntsman. AS2. What's one huntsman gonna do with a kaiju-class Grimm? Jaune didn't care for their opinion as he dashes towards the giant lizard thing. He then saw some Atlassian dropships prepare for takeoff at the naval base. He then makes for it at breakneck speeds. Base commander, all pilots get to your ships and engage all hostile forces. As a large flock of Nevermore soon approach the launch pads. He then reaches the base and saw multiple dropships attempting to fight off the flying buzzards. Pilot 1, we got more incoming. A Nevermore began chasing one of them. Pilot 3, hey, you picked up one, watch it. Pilot 2, I can't see him. One of the ships was riddled with feathers as he went down. Pilot 4, I'm hit. Pilot 3, damn it. Pilot 2, get him off me. Then something hits the third pilot's ship. It was a summon sword as Jaune tricked to the ship and got on top of it. Pilot 3, what was that? He looks up to see the young Grimm Knight. Pilot 3, hey, get off from there. Jaune, He looks to the flock and launched a summon sword and trick. He began by thinning the herd as he restores the morale of the soldiers. And the flocks all crumble to pieces as their remains fall to the sea. Pilot 2, holy. Pilot 1, shit. Pilot 3, who is this guy? He then lands on 3's ship. Jaune, I advise you to go to that giant. I'll deal with him. They heard a roar as they looked towards the wannabe kaiju. Pilot 3, whatever you're gonna do, do it fast. Jaune, here we go. He then jumped off and tricked to its face. The Leviathan tried to bite him as he twisted his body in mid-air and dodged the attack. He then stabs Yamato on the side of its cheek to get a footing and corrected himself, leaping upwards and lands in between its eyes. The Leviathan stares at him with cold, dead eyes as there was no governing intelligence in it, and he made the decision to not be lenient with it as he then runs towards its body, gathering all the power he can muster without transforming to not raise suspicion. He then used Judgment Cut End to its fullest extent. He then tricked back to the nearest ship and sheathes his sword slowly. And with a loud clang, the Leviathan began falling to pieces. Pilot 3, seriously, who is this guy? The ships then returned to base to give their reports. Jaune began to leave to get a flight for Atlas as a small old voice rang out. Cordovan, hold it. He stops and turns his head, glancing at a short old woman. Cordovan, state your identity and intent. Jaune, I am Jaune Arc, alias, a huntsman under the headmaster of Beacon's employ, and my intent is to travel to Atlas to meet with Ashbin's contact there. Alive. Cordovan, do you have any proof of that claim? He hands her his personal scroll as she looks it over and saw Ashbin's contact details and made a call. And someone answered. Ashbin, Jaune, how is your progress? Cordovan, this is Caroline Cordovan of Argus Base. We have a huntsman here under the name Jaune Arc and has business in Atlas. Care to confirm? Ashbin, yes, I sent him on a mission to speak to one of my old acquaintances there for important information to which I cannot disclose due to its urgency. Cordovan, I see. Everything is in order. But let me ask you, sir, how is someone in your charge so strong despite his young appearance? Ashbin, I don't know what you mean. Cordovan, He single-handedly wiped out a flock of Nevermores and a Leviathan during his timely assistance. Ashvin, he is trained severely under my watch and is sent first to Mistral and dealt with some business there. Now if there is no other questions, I have a festival to govern. Cordovan, understood. Good day, sir. Well, it seems that you are in need of transport. John just looks at her calmly. Cordovan, we will provide you with transport and an escort, seeing as you did us a huge favor. John, well, thank you very much. Cordovan nods and gets everything ready, but she sent the on-board recordings of the ships to Ironwood and Vale. The Darkslayer is slowly gaining a reputation, especially in the Grimm community. Later at Evernight. Salem, I sense a disturbance. The Seer Grimm came to life and shows her the battle for Argus. Salem, how is this possible? It was that day most of the Grimm all over Remnant began migrating back to Evernight despite Cinder's mission. It seems there was a threat to the Grimm Queen, and she knows a storm approaching.